What's up, everybody? This is the Range Rats, episode 2. My name is RJ, again, like I said, and this is my buddy Luke, and we're just a couple of 11 handicappers talking about the world of golf. So, Luke?
Hey guys, for those of y'all returning for episode 2, thanks for coming back. Love seeing about 20 of y'all watch the first episode and a couple like and subscribe. So thank you guys for tuning in. I mean, this week, obviously PGA Tour season just ended, so not a bunch going on in the terms of PGA Tour golf world, but still an exciting week in the golf world with Live Golf event this week, a bunch of new players joining the Live Golf Tour, and obviously we got to recap the PGA Tour playoffs, and then we're next big event for most of the golf world is going to be the President's Cup in a couple weeks, so getting excited for that. And me personally, big event, got a Labor Day tournament on Monday, looking to be we're the defending champs, so hoping to go back to back this year in the Avila Labor Day tournament.
Yeah, I have no horse. He's my horse in the race, right? Like, Luke is my guy. But I'm not playing in it. But if there was a place I could pull, like if there was a pool where I could put my money into on my guys, they got the group that you guys have going is one that could definitely.
Yeah, I mean it's your not your stereotypical, but your typical net four ball foursome. You got a player who's I think he's a 1 handicap now, 1 or 2, and then me and my brother are both 11s, and then my dad's an 18. So you got your stroke guys, your kind of who knows what you're going to get with them, and then a great player. So we'll see what we can do. I set the line at like minus 250 that we defend. I think we're the favorites again.
I love it. Well, buddy, we're going to have to talk about that next week. But for right now, we got to recap what happened last week.
Yeah. That could be fun.
What in the world was that? What a golf tournament. What a way to end such a controversial and just stressful season for the PGA Tour. They wouldn't want it any other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, watch all the Golf Channel the whole weekend and stuff, and you could tell everyone appreciated what Scotty was doing and that, 5 wins hadn't been done. And I think they were saying JT was maybe the last to get 5 wins in a season, something like that. JT, but for a rookie, 5 wins on the PGA Tour hadn't happened since like the 1940s, I think. So that was kind of the big story going into Sunday, and then not to be. Rory McIlroy, what an upset.
Well, let's stay on Scotty really quickly. Scotty played himself out of that. And there was a point I texted you. I was like, hey, Scotty is on the verge of costing himself millions of dollars with every shot he's taking on 18. I mean, he played himself out of that golf tournament, which is what we were talking about last week about how the staggered scoring can be like, hey, I mean, he's going into the tournament with a 2-shot lead already. If he doesn't blow it, he's golden.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, on Sunday, when it matters, he blew it. And that was,
I think
one guy in the world, and it was, it made for some fun golf.
Yeah, definitely made it more entertaining to watch as a golf fan. I think he started that final round 6 shots up.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe because it was he and Rory were paired in the last group.
Yeah, it was a good sizable lead. And I mean, it was Rory said it, and a couple other people said it, but like the only way that the rest of the field had a chance was to go have a great day, and Scotty had to struggle. And I mean, you looked at it, Sungjae Im played himself into millions and millions of dollars getting up into the second spot with Scotty, and Scotty played himself out of a big pay. I mean, he still made a big payday, but
$6 million, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he lost himself probably $10 million and
3 times more
historic season.
Yeah, I mean, the payout difference is $12 million between first and second.
Yeah.
Which interesting enough is about like the pay structure for the end of the live season and the end of the PGA Tour season. I don't know if you saw that. It's almost identical.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it was almost the exact same.
Right.
Like 18 million to the winner, and then second and third were the exact same. So,
but we do have to give credit where credit is due. Rory played, I mean, just an unbelievable round. And when it looked like he was starting to slip, he just made that bomb on 15. And I texted, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to win. So I know last week we had made our predictions, right? We had both picked Scotty to win. We both messed up.
yeah.
You picked more than 5. I picked less than 5. I mean, it's technically still a loss, but I think that I kind of helped you out a little bit.
Well, we'll go margin of victory. We'll give you the nod on that one.
Nod. Your second place finish, though, was Rory, who ended up
was the winner.
winning the thing. My second place finish was Xander, who still finished up there, but he fell. And then your fade, Patrick Cantlay.
I think you finished fourth.
And my fade, John Rahm, stayed right where he needed to be, like 14 or something like that.
Yeah, so we'll give the nod to you on last week's picks.
Come on, lad!
One for RJ.
Come on!
But
we will see how
it was such a fun tournament. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Scotty fan, so I was pulling hard for him.
Oh, I was right on 14. I live bet Rory to win.
I love it. I mean, I saw one stat where his odds during that round, at one point he was plus 5,000.
Yes.
And then he went down. I mean, obviously when he's tapping it on 18, he's like minus 4,000, minus 5,000, whatever. But like, I mean, his odds swing in that round was insane. And I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, he went out and played a fantastic last round, knowing that it still may not even be enough. But I think it was a huge advantage to him seeing what Scotty was doing and putting pressure on Scotty.
Absolutely. I mean, Scotty still made his putts here, but they were putts to save, not putts to score. You know what I mean? And I think that's what separated the two of them. When I got the bet, the line was 125, and Rory was the odds-on favorite. I mean, he's still plus odds, but he was the odds-on favorite. Scotty was plus 135, but Scotty had still had a one-shot lead on Rory when I checked the live odds. So I was like, something's up. Something is going to happen. The bookmakers know, there's something brewing here, and it's going to come down to it. And I just didn't want to miss out. And lo and behold, I ended up with some money. So that was cool. But I think, I don't know. Obviously, we'll have to figure out the comments section for everybody who ended up watching this. With, like Luke said, thank you so much for everybody who watched this. This was not just, we expected just us two to be the only 2 subscribers, the only 2 views, and we got 24 views. I mean, thank you guys so much. But we'll figure out the comment section so you guys can leave some comments. And again, we're going to do a little game where we count off some golf milestones that we've had together. And we're going to leave our number, not our phone number, Jesus, the number we got. And then we want to hear some comments from people around, what their golf milestone number is at. But that's just where we're going to end today. But man, I mean, with all the things that have been happening in the golf world this season, with Liv, with all these guys going, I mean, couldn't have asked for a better finish, huh?
No, I mean, if you're thinking about what the PGA Tour wanted that story to end, they couldn't have written it better. No. It was the face of their tour going out and putting on an absolute perfect round of golf to win. And I mean, I think Azinger said it during the broadcast. It could have been someone else. I think it's Azinger. And he was like, Scotty still is learning how to close out tournaments. That like, he's won 4 times and he's had a lot of success, but it all came in such a flurry that he's got to learn how to close out some of these tournaments. And I think we've seen it a lot, especially the last 2 events of the playoffs. He missed some really short putts. And I think that's one thing that he's just got to tighten up on his game. And I think all that is, I mean, it's not skill. He's a great putter. It's just a matter of managing nerves and having confidence in those shorter putts coming down the stretch. And I think that really proved to be the deciding factor on Sunday, because everyone loves to talk about Rory's driver, and it is an incredible weapon. But when he starts putting the ball like he was on Sunday, that's a lethal combination right there.
Lethal. And yeah, you hit it right on the head. You know, Scotty is learning how to finish off a tournament, right? I mean, he's done it obviously 4 times already this season. So,
Yeah.
but it's not something that he's comfortable doing. He's not seeing and being in that position often as a like, once a year. You know what I mean? He's still so young and very comfortable playing from behind. So I don't want to say like going into Sunday you thought that Rory could take it, because like you said, Scotty still had a lead. At the end of the day, he's still the number 1 player in the world, but Rory coming from behind it and second place is still a very good bet at any tournament.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that there's a different degree of pressure, and it makes your Sunday a lot tougher when you're going into it with the lead. Yeah. And I think, I mean, we've seen that, especially the last couple of years on the PGA Tour. It is really hard for the guy with the 54-hole lead to actually close it out and win. There was a stretch, I think, last season, maybe not this season that just ended, the one before that. Yeah. I think there was 11 or 12 tournaments in a row where the guy with the 54-hole lead did not win the tournament. So I think it's just a very different position to be the guy chasing versus the guy going into it with the lead. And I think that Scotty's kind of feeling some of that pressure. I mean, you look at I don't want to say he choked away a big lead on Sunday, but he kind of felt that way. He didn't go get it.
Right.
And then you look at the Masters. I mean, even though he obviously kind of ran away with the tournament and had the putts to do it, he 4-putted on 18. Right. And I think that just kind of shows like the newness. I mean, he's a very young guy still on tour. So he's just getting used to it. But I thought Rory's comment at the end was pretty cool. I don't know if you saw the video, but Rory went up and talked to Scotty's dad and gave him a hug and told him that, I think his line was,
sorry.
What was that?
What?
I heard there's a big beep. Maybe it was in my apartment.
I think it was you. But Rory's comment when he first saw Scotty's dad, he was like, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah. He was like, he said, he deserves it. Yeah. And I think it just showed the mutual respect between Rory and Scotty, but also just the classiness of both them and their families.
Yeah.
I mean, Rory just cemented himself in history as a 3-time FedEx Cup champion. No one's done that before. And I think everyone expects Scotty to have a very bright career, and it's kind of just getting started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think everything you just said right there couldn't have been more on the nose. Like, Scotty will have his opportunity, you know what I mean? He's still just getting started. He's going to compete for President's Cups and Ryder Cups. Like, he's going to be around for a little while. And not to say that Rory is old or anything, but, he's in his 30s already. I think he'd say he's closer to hole 18 than he is from teeing off, you know what I mean? In the tournament. So I think that he was already, a golf legend, golf great. He's won over 20 times. He's major champion, right? 2-time Players Cup winner, and then just cementing it with the third. Like he said, that's something not even Tiger Woods has done.
Yeah.
You're in a league of your own at that point, and I think that's something that just cements a resume. That not a lot of things can.
Definitely. And I think as many negatives as the PGA Tour, Live Tour contention has brought the golf world, I think it really revitalized Rory. And we saw a different level of passion and competitiveness this year from Rory that maybe we haven't seen in the last couple of years.
Do you think he felt like he was fighting for more than just winning golf?
I think that he I think he felt the pressure that he was the PGA Tour. I mean, obviously Tiger's a huge face of the PGA Tour, but Tiger is in a point in his career now where he's not going to be the guy going out there winning tournaments.
Right.
I do think Rory felt that pressure of, I need to go get the job done and I need to make golf interesting. And, at the Open, I don't want someone from the Live Tour winning. I want to go give it my shot. And even though Cam Smith did win, he was very, very competitive there. And
remember the week after Live, like all these guys went to Live, right? The first Live event.
mm-hmm.
Was it the Canadian Open where
Yeah.
now and JP? I mean, can't have a better story for that than the PGA.
No.
Like, hey, this is still our guy. He is still, the guy in golf, one of the guys. And I mean, he's like, this is where you can be to compete and cement a legacy. So we'll see. I mean, Liv is a baby right now. We'll see if he can cement a legacy at all or anything like that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And transitioning now that we're starting to talk a little bit more about Liv, I'd like to first of all, I want to bring up something that I don't even know if you and I have talked about off the top, is the DP World Tour does not have in its bylaws for like suspending players for leaving and playing other tours. It does not have it in the bylaws. So Ian Poulter, Patrick Reed, all these guys are going to play after this Live event. There's in a couple weeks. There's a DP World Tour event that there's 19 guys in it. Rory mentioned it in his press conference after winning the FedEx Cup. He's like, it's not going to feel good seeing 19 guys in Live there. I forget what the tournament is. I can look it up, but there will be Live guys playing in the DP World Tour event, earning world golf points.
I got you. I saw that comment about like the one you just made about Rory. I don't know exactly what he said, but about it's going to feel weird playing with him or seeing him there. I didn't really know what he was talking about, so that'll be interesting. I mean, you and I have talked about that for a while. Like, if that could become a potential loophole for these Live Tour guys, because the big knock, I mean, I know we were going to talk about this a little later, but a big knock that a lot of the criticism has been on the Live Tour is that these guys are playing, exhibition golf tournaments, that it's 54 holes, it's not for world golf points. So, I mean, if there's a way where these Live guys can maintain world golf status, make the kind of money they are, I mean, and playing majors, it continues to make it more and more enticing. And I think we're totally seeing that with the names that just went to the Live Tour. I mean, we just had, what was it? It was Cam Smith, Harold Varner, Bubba, Mark Leishman. I'm sure I'm missing a couple, but I mean, some really, really big names in golf.
Huge names. Let me pull up all these guys who are. I'll find the article later, but all the guys who just recently. We have Cam Smith, Harold Varner, Mark Leishman, Anirban Lahiri, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, he was in contention at the Players this year.
Right. Joaquin Neiman, I think he won once this year, right? And Cameron.
I think he did win this year. Yeah.
Tringale.
Who was that?
Cameron Tringale.
Okay. Yeah.
And one guy who announced that he was in serious talks was Cam Young. And Cam Young's a young gun who I thought maybe could go, like a Matt Wolff kind of guy, but he chose to stay. But like I said,
I did see that, and I think that's a really good decision for Cam Young.
I agree.
Like we've said, we're trying hard. We're not pro Live, pro PGA Tour. We're pro golf. But I think for a guy like Cam Young, he hasn't won on the PGA Tour yet, so he's not in the position of a Cam Smith who has all these exemptions. I mean, Cam Young had many good finishes this year, so he did get exemptions, but not the same as if he had been winning tournaments. So I think the PGA Tour is the right spot for him. So that way he can continue to, work towards making Ryder Cup teams, President's Cup teams, majors, things like that. And I think he's another guy we could see become the face of the PGA Tour. I mean, not to the Rory JT level, but kind of like he's a guy that people seem to get excited about seeing his name at the top of the leaderboard.
And he's up there a lot recently.
Yeah.
He's playing a lot. And I think he could be a next like Victor Hovland kind of guy who starts to see continually contend. And one thing we have to remember, like I said earlier, Liv Tour is just a baby. I mean, it sounded like he was seriously considering it, right? Having the talks with golf, and I'm sure a lot of these guys are, and they're choosing to stay. But I mean, it could always be there. You know what I mean? And who knows where we're going to go? Yeah,
I mean, I think you and I have talked about it in the first pod. The idea Butch Harmon presented, kind of we want this to work. What's that?
I remember what it is. It's the flagship event of the DP World Tour.
Oh.
BMW Championship, or whatever it's called. Is it like the DP World Tour's players? Let me see. I don't know if it's the players,
or is it like their race to Dubai?
I think it's the beginning of, or maybe the last big event, like. Because Rory McIlroy is going over to play in a DP World Tour.
I think he's leading the race to Dubai standings right now.
I think he is now, but they call it the BMW PGA Championship. So I don't know if you know anything about that, but
I don't. I don't know much about the DP World Tour.
A couple of years ago, Tyrrell Hatton won it.
Oh.
It's that steel-looking BMW.
Yes. The really big, tall trophy.
Right. Okay. It's that trophy, right? So that is their flagship event. They get guys who are PGA Tour guys who come and play this event on the DP World Tour, and Live guys are allowed to go there. Sorry if I cut off a conversation. But
no, you're good. You're good. That would be wild if a Live guy won that.
If guy won that, I mean, crazy. Yeah. I know Patrick Reed is playing in it. I know Lee Westwood, Ian Poulter, I want to say Sergio as well. All these guys are playing in it. And, I mean, it just adds to the field of the tournament, right? It gives me more incentive to watch a DP World Tour event than I would normally.
Yeah, definitely.
No incentive in watching that. But, like I said, this is their flagship event, so this is one that I would normally watch anyway. But I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens if those guys start to contend.
Yeah, and it definitely, I mean, kind of going back to what we were talking about with the criticisms of Liv, another criticism, I guess, is that no guy who started on the Liv Tour and then come over to, I guess, the U.S. Open and Open Championship have been the only two that they've been allowed to play in. With the PGA Tour guys, but neither event a Liv guy was really up there with a legitimate chance to win.
At the end,
yeah, because I mean, Cam Smith is a Liv guy now, but at the time he was on the PGA Tour as a full-time member. So that would just add another kind of layer into the story of they're making this kind of crazy money. They've got a more flexible schedule, all that. And they're competing at these flagship events and winning against the best tour on the planet.
Exactly. And that they just made the deal or whatever where their relationship is stronger. So it really is kind of a slap in the face. Like, hey, you guys strengthened your relationship, and in your sister tour, brother, little sister, whatever.
Yeah.
Or in their bylaws, you are not allowed to ban me. Now, they can fine the hell out of me.
They probably will.
They will. They've said that there will be repercussions for people who try to enter. But these guys don't care. They're making enough money on Live Golf anyway that they can just fork over whatever fine. They can fork over winning.
I mean, these guys reasonable to think.
Well,
Live may even pay the fines.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? They could just be literally playing for world golf rankings so that they can continue to play in the majors. That's literally what they could do.
Yeah. And I mean, think about a guy like Patrick Reed. He's practically sponsored by Live Golf now. Everywhere you see him, he's got Live Golf hats and shirts on.
Right.
Imagine the extra slap in the face if they all show up there
Airing that stuff.
Live Golf stuff.
Yeah. Did you see Bubba Watson's comments about his? They asked him about his possibility of returning to the Masters. Being a former winner and not playing on Live. If that'll be. I forget what the line of. I didn't listen to.
It was something along the lines of if they don't
invite you
back, I don't want to be there or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the proper way to go about it. I mean.
Yeah, I mean it kind of sounded to me a little like a little kid.
Yeah.
Like a middle school relationship. Like, I'm breaking up with you. No, I broke up with you first. So I win. So I mean I didn't really. I mean, I get where he's trying to get at with that, but kind of sounds silly. Like, you really telling me you don't want to go play in the Masters? You don't want to go play at Augusta?
You're right.
I have a hard time believing that. But I did like his line in one of the press conferences. They were talking to him about, what Live means to him, why he joined, stuff like that. And he gave a cool spiel about he really is a team guy and wants to be there to help the younger players and a mentor and a captain and stuff like that. And that Liv gave him the opportunity the PGA Tour never could. And it was funny. He complimented the young guys like, there's a reason they win so much. They don't need my help in the golf game. Like, I just want to help them in life.
Right.
So,
I have a problem buying that because he's from Pensacola. I have a couple friends who are from Pensacola.
Yeah.
I've heard he's not a genuine person, and we'll leave it at that. Save face.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he actually means that, but I think that's a good sentiment. And like with Harold Varner, he straight up said, and he earned a lot of people's respect. I mean, he's not going to be adding his name to that lawsuit that's going on against the PGA Tour.
No, I think Harold Varner's always had a pretty good reputation as a stand-up guy, and I think that the way he carried his business going to Live, in my mind, is the way a lot of the PGA Tour guys wish. I'm going to make this confusing, but like a big complaint Rory, JT, those guys have had against Phil that they didn't have against DJ was the manner in which he went about his business going to Live.
Right.
And I think that you're kind of seeing it again with Bubba and Harold Varner. Nobody's ripping Bubba like they ripped Phil, but I think people are kind of looking at Bubba going, I don't know if he really means that. Like, he's kind of just talking. But I really think what Harold Varner said.
He said to keep it as a receipt. He was like, hey, this is generational wealth, but I have a lot of programs that I'm going to be investing this money in to help people get into the game of golf. He's like, keep this as a receipt. We'll see if he does it. I really hope he does because, all about growing the game. Love the game of golf. I would like to see, you can argue the money that they're getting is not ethically whatever, the Saudi backed, yada, yada, yada. But I mean, if you do good with that, I think it kind of unstains it, in my opinion. I don't think that's.
And I mean, I think that you and I have had this conversation off pod, but kind of brief. Like, I find it hard to believe that we're looking at large sums of money people have gotten from major American corporations and not looking at it and being like, that's blood money. Like, you wear Nike stuff. Like, I wear Nike stuff. I love Nike stuff. Most of it's getting made in China. Do we really love their labor laws and everything China stands for? I mean, I think that it's an interesting debate, and I'm by no means supporting or condoning any of the action that takes place in Saudi Arabia and the blood money and all that. But like, I think that it's an interesting,
very
interesting slam.
So, to back off the political side, I want to go back to this thing posted by Golf Digest about the Liv has recently signed nearly half of the majors winners since 2016.
Mhm.
Cam Smith this past year, Phil from 2021, DJ and Bryson from 2020, Brooks Koepka in 2019, Patrick Reed in 18, and then Koepka also won in 18, Sergio in 17, Brooks also won in 17, Dustin Johnson also won in 16, and I'm looking at his name right now, and I cannot think of who won the Open in 2016.
Henrik Stenson.
Henrik Stenson, Jesus.
I think that was the year Henrik and Phil dueled it out, and they were like 10 shots above the rest of the field, and
You're right.
Henrik beat Phil.
You're right. But I mean, we can talk about the field as it stands going into Live Boston that's going on this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty legit field. There are some legit names there from that are, there's Chase Koepka, right? Who's down here, but then we got Mark Leishman. He's up here. Harold Varner. He's up here. These are guys who are maybe not to the casual who only tunes in for the majors, but people who know the world of golf even just a little bit. These are guys. This is a tournament that could be that you could see more competitive golf than we've seen in the past from Live. And I think the fact that they've signed half of the major winners since 2016 just shows it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think you look at even what the casual fan looks, the guy who just watches the players and the majors.
I mean,
Cam Smith won 2 of those 5 events this year.
Phil
Mickelson, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson. Those are household names that have won a lot of worldwide golf.
Think about the guy who tunes in and starts falling in love with the game this year. Of all the 4 major winners, right? They're all young guys, right? Cam's won the Players and the Open. So even if you're a guy who only turns in for those big name tournaments, one guy has won 2 of them. Number 2 in the world, and he has now gone and joined a new golf tour.
Yeah.
I think that is an enormous shift in the world of golf.
I agree. And I mean, he was at one point this season, he was number 2 in the world golf rankings. I think he fell to 3 after Rory's win this past weekend. But I mean, that is a guy who is considered one of the top 3 golfers on the planet right now. And he just went and joined this new tour. Yeah. I think that's monumental. And that is for Live to continue to grow. They need that. They need stuff like that.
Need it so bad. So bad. That was one thing we predicted last week, right? I had Bubba, but we both had Cam Smith, and you had Leishman. We both had we did pretty good predicting that, I would say.
Yeah. I think my 3 were the 3 Australians. I went Cam Smith, Mark Leishman, and Adam Scott. I don't believe Adam Scott has come over yet.
No, he's not. But I went Bubba, Cam Smith, Hideki. So we both went 2 for 3. That was pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I do. You just mentioned Rory again, and it just made me remember. He signed up to play another DP World Tour event in Italy, where they're hosting the Ryder Cup next year.
Oh, a little scouting trip.
A scouting trip. So
wonder if more guys are going to sign up for that.
It'll be interesting.
Could be interesting. I mean, I don't view any of the Americans going over there, but could maybe see some of the European guys go.
But he is the points leader in the race to Dubai. He's the points leader in that, so maybe he tries and goes and wins that and gets another boatload of money.
Well, Morikawa did that last season. He just going through the year, and I'm sure he knew, but it kind of just seemed like he got a phone call. Hey, man, you're leading the race to Dubai. You want to come and try and win it? And he shows up and he wins. So I think that. What was that?
He kind of had a down year this year.
He did. I was when I was watching, maybe it was Golf Channel I don't know. I was watching golf television, and they were talking about him, and they said he's always been a fade player. and that's been part of what's made him so good about the control.
Yeah.
And for the last, like, I think it was, they said 12 months or something, he's been trying to play a draw and kind of forcing a draw, and that he seems to have kind of lost his swing. And they were saying that he's kind of recognized that, and he's looking to get back to what he had.
Yeah, can't change something that made you who you were and made you kind of a dominant player. What, 25 years old he was last year?
It's crazy though, because it happens so much.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is these guys are just, I'm always pushing. I want to get better. I want to get better. But like Spieth changed his swing. Ricky, who knows what happened with Ricky that made him collapse like he has. Now, I mean, I hope it doesn't happen to Morikawa. I think he's young enough and good enough that he'll get it figured out. And I mean, we say down year. I think he still made the tour championship, did everything he needed to, but he just didn't compete for titles like he had previously.
Didn't look pretty good. I want to pull up a Rory quote that I sent you, and I sent you it so we can talk about it on this week's podcast. He said in his post-run presser on Sunday, did some of Phil's ideas have merit? Of course they did, but he just didn't approach it the right way. Mm-hmm. I think that says everything about how these guys live golf. I mean, you like it, you don't like it. You can respect the guys who go over there and just are thinking they're doing whatever's best for them, right? You can respect that. The guys who've gone about it the wrong way, I don't think anybody likes to see that.
I think it kind of goes back to the point we were talking about just a couple minutes ago, that these guys who go about it the right way, it doesn't mean everyone's going to agree with them. But like Max Homa is a big PGA Tour guy. When Harold Varner made that post, Max Homa commented on it like something along the lines of like, respect you, HV3, heart emoji. So like very classy. But then you look at these guys who, are going about it maybe the wrong way. You've got like Patrick Reed, Phil, some of the, like, it just rubs people the wrong way. And I think that I don't know that you and I are ever going to be privy to the knowledge, but I wonder what Liv thinks about it. Like, I wonder if they want the turmoil or if they would rather everyone just like come quietly. Because if they all just went quietly, where's the story? Like, how does Liv get in the headlines? But I guess it comes back to, is bad press good press? Like,
yeah, I don't know if that would ever come to light that, hey, we want you guys to badmouth the PGA Tour when you guys are on your way out. And I don't know that they would ever say that. I don't even know if that's even on their mind. But, one thing that's really driving this and keeping Liv relevant is the fact that it is, first of all, getting a lot of big names. And like we said, this week's event has me honestly wanting to watch it just because of how many guys I know who are on that leaderboard, and it's just 3 days. It's on YouTube. It's easy to access, right? And I think what you said about is bad press still good press, I think that rings very true for Liv Golf, because it's people like us who are talking about the world of golf, and they don't do it on ESPN at all. You can't track the Liv Golf standings on ESPN at all. But people in Golf Digest, right? Golf.com, the Golf Channel, like all these people who are covering it, if the bad mouthing happens, it's just another thing. It's just another conversation piece, and it's just another thing to drive Liv Golf's awareness up and keep it trending.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that a lot of this is kind of showing the business side of golf.
Yeah, absolutely. And
it's all about views, money, who's going to talk about it. I mean, it's getting guys like you and me who, I mean, we talk golf all the time, but are we really going to sit down and make a podcast just going over the last week's PGA Tour event?
Right.
Probably not. I mean, it'd be a 10-minute podcast and that'd be it. But the conflict and the drama, it's what movies are made of. It's why we love sports. It's why rivalries are interesting. I mean, they're making full documentaries on, the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees and the
Magic,
USC Trojans in Texas back in the early 2000s. Like, I mean, pick your rivalry.
Celtics, Lakers. I mean, it's every.
It's all of them. So.
Speaking of that, I want to ask you a question. Do you think we could see a world where we see guys treating professional golf tours like franchises, and the fact that they sign physical contracts, like as opposed to a PGA Tour card to write in a live golf thing? Sign a deal says, hey, I'm going to play on the PGA Tour for this amount of guaranteed money for 3 years, and then I'm a free agent, and then I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
See something like that. Kevin Na pointed to that when he left. He goes, I felt like a free agent athlete in any sport, and it felt good to be able to make my own choice. Do you think we could?
I think that's an interesting thing to kind of go into. I think the players might like that because it gives them stability and money. I think fans would hate that.
Really?
Because then your top players are all going to be divided.
They already
are.
They already are. I mean, PGA Tour's still number one. But I mean,
yeah, but like I think that the hope for most fans, at least for me, is that we're going to get to be able to see on a regular basis more than just 4 times a year. We'll get to see Cam Smith, Rory,
Jeff.
Like go through the whole list. You're going to get to see all those guys on the course at the same time. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's an interesting thing. I think it was an argument that was raised a lot early on with LIV, was the guaranteed money and things like that. I think the PGA Tour is kind of trying to get to that with the way they've adjusted their payouts and travel stipends and things like that. I don't know. I think it's a cool idea.
And then the last thing I want to bring up before we get into our our final segment here, we talked last week about fixing the adjusted scoring, and I sent you some things for us to talk about.
Yeah.
The report says there's no way to perfectly reward a season-long play and produce an electric tour champ, right? And I think you and I would both agree, like, hey, Scottie Scheffler probably deserved to win. I mean, he won 4 times. He was a major champion, right? Maybe even Cam Smith. He won 2 of the biggest tournaments of the year, right? I mean, Rory still had an incredible year, don't get me wrong, but you can't reward season-long play with just one tournament.
Yeah.
Unless, and here's what he says, keep the staggered scoring start on a Wednesday, top 4 guys after 4 rounds make it to match play both semis and a final on Sunday. Do you think, I don't know how.
I think it would be a cool idea. What was that?
I said, I don't know how the whole 4 rounds of golf and then a match play thing, I think that'd get very drug on and tiring for the players and the fans as well. I like the idea of head-to-head, kind of like what we had at the end of this year. It's like, hey, Sungjae's in it, but he's already in the clubhouse. We're watching Rory and Scottie duel it out on the golf course. Could a match play situation improve the Tour Championship?
I think it would be really cool. I guess if he's saying that those guys would play 6 rounds in 5 days, like to win the whole thing. Say you win the whole thing, you're playing 6 rounds in 5 days. I mean, I think those guys can play 6 rounds in 5 days. They'd probably want a week off. What's that?
Nobody wants to watch that. Fans won't watch that.
No, I mean, fans, it would be kind of like the Dell match play, I think, which my fear is that the beginning, you're kind of not really watching.
Right,
You're going to tune in Saturday because you want to see who the top 4 is.
Right.
And then Sunday, your avid golf fans are going to sit there and watch it all day. The casual fans will tune in for the afternoon and watch the championship. Maybe even just the back 9. I don't know. I think it would be interesting. I saw Fitz sent out a tweet or comment or whatever and said, make the whole thing match play. Do match play from the start. I mean, I guess, but I think the difference in pro golf versus NHL. And I mean, I guess the NHL, MLB, like every league's competitive. Anyone can beat anyone. I think golf, there's so much volatility. I mean,
Too much.
so you're going to tell me that, I mean, if we go on a whole bracket for the first match, it would have been Scotty Scheffler versus Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, no, can't have that.
And like, that's a great match, and people would love to see it. But Ricky played his best golf the beginning of the tournament. Like,
Scotty
how are we gonna say it's fair that Scotty's whole body of work boils down to 18 holes of golf versus Ricky Fowler?
Which is why I think his point of still playing golf and narrowing it down, and maybe even having a cut line and then doing match play, I think I would like that. But to your point, we could not start Thursday.
Yeah.
Could not have it. Not in golf, not in that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it definitely would have to be a combination. I mean, maybe do it somewhere like, I'm thinking kind of like the USAM. So maybe it's more than 4 guys, but you do stroke play for 2 rounds, 3 rounds, whatever you decide, and then you do match play for the USAM does, I think it's 2 rounds of 18 and then a 64-person bracket.
Right.
That could get drug on a little bit because you'd go 64 to 32, 16, 8, 4. So they'd have 5. That'd be a 7-round tournament.
What about instead of 30 guys at the end, just go to 32? Start there.
Yeah. And I mean, that would be an interesting thing to do, is where you do the first 2 events are normal stroke play events.
Right.
And if you qualify in the top 32, then you go full bracket style for the tour championship. So you would have, number 1 plays number 32, and that's his Thursday match. He wins, great, he'll move on. Friday he'll play the round of 16, Saturday round of 8, Sunday morning round of 4, Sunday evening championship. That could be fun.
I think that gives it more of a playoff feel, but I don't think it does what the tour wants it to accomplish in rewarding season-long play.
Yeah. And I mean, I think maybe you do buys then. You keep it at 30 and you give I don't know, how many buys would you have to give? Top 4 or what? I mean, you just kind of pick. You could set it up almost like I'm thinking like the ACC basketball tournament.
Yeah.
How the top 4 seeds get double buys, the next 4 get single buys. So then the guys who make the tournament, they've got to win more. So that's your staggered start in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really good point. I never thought about something like that, like giving them maybe even 2 buys to get to, like, hey, you're automatically in the semifinals or you're in the quarterfinals or whatever you want to do. Give them the reward and then level the playing field.
Yeah, I think that could be a cool idea. I mean, I don't personally see the tour going to something like that.
Good conversation.
But it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, what we saw with this year is that the staggered scoring, I mean, while we thought going in it was going to be a disaster, like you had Scotty winning by more than 5 shots.
Yeah. I was feeling pretty good going into the last round.
And we thought that, and, as it turns out, he didn't even win the thing. So, I mean, there's a point to be made there that, hey, anything can still happen. It's still, 72 holes of golf.
Yeah, and I mean, East Lake's tough. It's a tough course, but it's got some gettable holes. And I think that also, I mean, we kind of bouncing around, but we talked about Rory's putter, how the difference was. I also think you can say it was the driver. I mean, Scotty at different times in the tournament was hitting into the trees a lot and having to scramble.
Oh my gosh, so squirrely on Sunday.
Yeah, and that's, I think, Rory being in the fairway. It's funny. I mean, I'm going to make a comparison that many of our viewers probably won't know, but you and me will get it. It's kind of like Avila in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, you hit the ball in the fairway, the course becomes more gettable. You get sideways, you're going to have a long day. And I mean, East Lake kind of gave me that feel when I was watching it. Was when these guys are putting the ball in the fairway, they're having wedges in their hands and they can go get these pens. When they're getting sideways, you're having to get really creative.
I want to say it was hole 14. Rory was in the middle of the fairway from, I mean, he had a good club. Right? I mean, he bombs the ball. It was downhill. He had a good club. He missed it green side off to the right. It was in the rough on a downslope, but he had a good lie. And I'm thinking, oh, he's Rory McIlroy, right? And he flubbed it completely. And the whole time, as soon as he hit it, and he just knew it was right, and Azinger said, he's like, oh, he's the only one who's made that mistake today.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, I'm an 11 handicap, but I'd be more than happy to be short-sided, pin high on that course.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of those where I was like, that just shows the talent level these guys have. Because I thought the same thing. Like, I'd rather be there because I could bump and run, or I could think something from the sand. Like, and I mean,
Sand shot too.
What was that?
So that we're kind of on the other side. The green opens up because obviously Rory short-sided himself, but the sand trap on that side to get over to that hole, that's a long sand trap.
Yeah, and I mean that's.
But I'd rather just ignore it and just not.
Yeah.
So.
It's fun to watch and see. I feel like I learn something every time I watch golf. Just the way that these professionals think about the course, they attack it, they look at it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. And there are guys who do it in different. I mean, everybody does it their own way. Matthew Fitzpatrick has tracked every single shot he's hit.
Oh, yeah.
And then DJ, Dustin Johnson, I mean, he's not on the PGA Tour anymore, but his approach to the game is, hey, you're going to hit a good shot, you're going to hit a bad shot. Let's not waste time.
Just keep it going.
Right. You can, take your time around the greens and stuff, but driver, iron, wedge, Dustin Johnson takes, I don't even know if he takes practice swings.
He just grip it.
Everybody plays the game so different,
but
it's crazy how, and everybody talks about how everybody swings a different swing, but it's the little things about the game that everybody who does it well, who plays the game well, they do the little things well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really good point. So,
you want to get us back on track here?
What was that?
What do we got next on the docket? What's our notes say?
I think we have covered everything. We said we were going to make picks for the Live Golf event this week. We'll each pick a team and then an individual, and then we're going to run through the 30 golf milestones, and that'll probably be it for episode 2. But I'm going to pull up the Live Golf teams because I don't quite remember those off the top of my head.
I'm going to do something. Like, everybody to Live Golf is new, but I don't know that anybody, obviously besides the first week, I don't know that anybody who has joined has won the week that they joined, right?
I think Henrik Stenson did.
Did he? So him and Schwartzel have both done it?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to say a guy who's been there since he's gone. I think Dustin Johnson finally breaks through. He's been playing pretty well on the Live Tour. I think that he breaks. I mean, I'm saying breaks through as if the Live Tour is something that's ridiculously hard. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're playing incredible courses, and the talent has gotten a lot better, but he's been there knocking on the door almost.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to go with Dustin Johnson as my winner.
Okay. I like that pick. I'm going to, in the spirit of competition, I'm going to go different than you. I'm going to go with Paul Casey. I think Paul Casey gets it done. One of the great ball strikers. I think Paul Casey kind of shows up. For whatever reason, the international guys seem to be having, well, obviously, no Americans won on the Live Tour yet. Yeah. I think that trend continues. I'll take Paul Casey.
Okay, I'm going the American Dustin Johnson.
All right. And then let's pick a team.
I I am very tempted to go with Cam Smith and Mark Leishman's team
Yeah.
solely because of the fact that they have won that Zurich championship a couple of times
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
a team.
I'm going to stay. It's kind of funny saying that I'm wearing a U.S. Ryder Cup shirt as I'm picking all the Europeans. I'm going to pick the old European Ryder Cup team. I'm going to go with Westwood, Stenson, Poulter, and Horsfield. So I'll
So
go with Paul Casey and then the English team.
okay, I'm gonna go Dustin Johnson, and I'm going to go. I'm gonna go with Bryson DeChambeau's team, the Crushers.
Okay.
Of Casey, Lahiri, and Howell.
Okay. I like that.
That's
Cool.
what I'm going with. But I want to point out, all these teams have four, right? Uh,
Yes.
all these teams have four, but Bubba Watson is the captain of Harold Varner's new team, so they have five. They have
I
Pio,
noticed that.
whatever that
I
guy's
noticed
name
that.
is.
I don't know how they're doing that. Is Bubba not playing?
I don't know if because remember I said he was still hurt. I think he's not playing. Uh, but I think he's just the captain for now. I think he'll end up playing once he gets better
Yeah.
and guys come and join. But that team looks good. That team looks very young.
Yes, definitely.
That's probably the youngest. Like most guys coming out of college, they have. I think Petit and Piot or Pio. Or I don't know how to pronounce that
They're
name.
both young. I mean,
And Harold Varner. I mean,
he's younger too.
younger. Yeah. So yeah. So
Cool.
DeChambeau and Bright. I got DeChambeau's team and Dustin Johnson as an individual. He's got Paul Casey and
I got Westwood's team.
Westwood's team.
Cool.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, let's finish it up with this 30 golf milestone. So
So for those at home watching, which apparently we have people watching, and I'm around this long, but Golf Monthly on Instagram posted a 30 golf milestones have you achieved. They posted a little list, so Luke and I are going to go over it and just count how many we have.
probably easiest if we just read through the list and then maybe like yes, no, or whatever. And
Keep
I mean,
track.
you could read through it. I'll keep track. And
Yeah, we'll do that. You write down the scores and I'll read them out loud. Okay.
cool.
Number one, get a handicap.
Yes, I have a handicap.
Yeah. Win a club competition.
I have done that.
I have not done that. Break 80.
I've been close.
I've shot 80. I have missed it by just one hole. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. But
The
no.
round before I moved up here, I shot a 39 on the front, and I was even after the first four holes on the back or something.
Oh, you did.
So I was going to shoot in the 70s, like even with a bad finish. We had a lightning delay, had to go inside, and it iced me for like an hour and a half. And when I went out there, I just double, bogey, double. Like it was bad.
That's crazy. Shoot under par. No.
No.
Play a top 100 course.
Yes, I have.
Played Old Town, right?
Old Town, yeah. Old Town's 91.
I have not. Hole in one.
No.
I have hit the flag stick.
I had that one at Jovita where it landed and then bounced over the hole.
Mine was at Jovita too. I landed it past the hole, rolled it back, and hit the flag stick and keep
Crazy.
So close. Make a par.
Yes.
Yes. Make a birdie.
Yes.
Yes. Make an eagle.
I never made an eagle. You have?
Got one.
Justin made an eagle in his third ever round of golf. They went out to Heritage Harbor. He drove the green and made the putt. I was like, what? I was like, I've never made an eagle. I've been playing golf for 4 years.
For everybody his brother does not play golf.
Yeah, he was a baseball player. He's going to be good at golf whenever he picks it up, but he's never really been into it.
Albatross,
No.
no double bogeys.
Nope, I've never done that.
My best round, I'm going to say no, tentatively. I know for a fact that my best round has been very close to a no double bogey round.
Yeah, you've played enough golf with me. I always have a couple.
Right.
I'll make a couple birdies and then a couple doubles.
Right. I'm going to say tentatively no.
All right.
There's a chance, yes, but I'm going to say no to be safe. Get a custom fit.
This is another one where I didn't know the answer because I went to get fitted for clubs, right, and they told me that I'm standard. And so they pretty much told me, like, you don't need anything custom.
Yeah, you and I had the exact same thing happen. But yes, you got fitted.
I mean, we got fitted. We'll go with yes.
Yeah, I say yes.
All right.
A major.
What was that?
Tendon major.
Yes, I have. I went to the 2008 U.S. Open at Bethpage.
I have not. I was very jealous of you then. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. First golf tournament I ever went to, and I mean, I was little, but I just remember that was Phil finished second that year, and Lucas Glover won.
Yeah.
And Lucas Glover went to the same high school as my dad. I mean, a couple years apart, but same high school, so that was pretty cool, kind of connection there.
Hold bunker shot.
Yes.
I have not.
Really?
No, I've never, and I have a lot of chip-ins, actually.
I know the one I'm thinking of, I did it on number 12 at Avila. It was
okay, yeah.
I was in that back right bunker. So there's the two bunkers by the water. I was in the back right when chipping. I mean, I was pretty much pen high, and I just put it right in.
I have not, but I actually have a lot of hole outs, and there was a time last summer where I went 3 rounds in a row with a hole out, like a chip in.
That's awesome.
Not a hole out from the fairway, but like a chip on the green.
It's funny. I think I've holed out more on 12 at Avila than any other hole.
Yeah.
It's my longest hole out on that hole was 70 yards.
Wow.
And
fairway ever.
What's that?
Never hold out from the fairway.
I was in the rough. I hit the ball in the water and I had to drop.
What a bogey.
Yeah, literally.
1 in, drop 2. Hold out?
Yeah, I hit in the water twice.
Oh. 300-yard drive.
Yes.
Yes. What's your longest drive ever?
Huh.
If you had to guess.
If I had to guess,
no, that's a bad question because you've played in Colorado. I don't want to hear
That's true. That's what I'm like. It's skewed because like the best drive I can think of was at Old Town. Number 8 kind of bends a little to the right.
Right.
And I hit like my big cut.
Yeah.
But like not a slice, like a power cut. And it hit the bottom of the slope, and it's like a 380-yard hole, and I had 40 yards left in.
Wow.
Because it just ran for days, and I got it over the hill. But, yeah, Colorado, I've hit some that are just, like, redonkulous.
We both have it.
How many should you – I can't remember if I marked one for you or not.
I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have 6 right now.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Right now I've got it. You have 6. I have 9.
Yeah. I really want to say that I have had a no double bogey round, but I'm not going to.
Okay. I mean, I would believe you've had a no double bogey round more than me, but
I would also say that because as an 11,
I feel like you may have done it at Seminole when you were hot a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. I shot an 81 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
So 7 and 9.
Single figures. I'm assuming that means handicap.
Yes, I have done that. I got down to a 9-2 over this past summer.
I have not. I was a 10-1 at my best.
Really?
Yeah. Win club championship,
I wish.
right? Break 70. Nope.
Yeah, I wish.
Under par 9.
Nope.
Nope. Bogey free round.
Do triples and doubles count?
Break 100, yes. 18 greens in regulation.
No.
Not even close. Drive a par 4.
I don't think I ever have.
I think we had this Did we have this conversation at a?
Because
We
there's
did it.
the UF course at Boston, number 17, the one that goes straight downhill. I've never actually gotten it on the green.
Okay, that doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. And then, I'm trying to think. A lot of the courses I play don't have drivable par 4s.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not the longest hitter in the world. I get a hold of a couple and they go far, but I'm like a 250, 260 yard drive.
We talked about this when we went and played Stream Song.
Yeah.
We talked about this. Because we were like, oh man, this was a par 4 that I hit my 4-iron with 20-mile-an-hour wind behind me. Got it on the green. And you're like, oh, I don't think I've ever drove the green. And I have one. So I got a tally for that one.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I keep missing count because we're talking. Should you be at 8 or 9 right now?
I should be at 8.
8? Okay. Cool. So 8 and 11.
Yeah, you should be. We both have gotten 1 since after the 300-yard drive.
Yeah, because no. Shouldn't you be at 2? Because no doubles and then drive a par 4?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me count.
You count real quick.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should have 9.
Okay. Yep. So 9 and 11.
That sounds right. No lost balls.
I have done that.
I have as well. 2 birdies in a row. I have done that.
I've been really close. I don't think I've ever done it. I'm gonna go with no.
I don't think I have the scorecard, but I did it with my dad, my brother, and my grandfather. I started the round with a birdie on 1, birdie on 9 and 10, and then a birdie on 18. So I birdied the first and last one, and then the 2 middle ones.
That's awesome. I know this past year in Los Cab, I birdied 16, and then 17, I stuck it on the par 3.
Yeah.
But I was on, do you remember that left bunker and there's the big downslope?
Mm-hmm.
I hit the ball on top of that downslope and I blew the birdie putt past the hole and I ended up 3-putting. So what could have been birdie ended up being birdie bogey.
So
yeah.
Break 90. Both yes.
Yeah.
Join a golf club.
I didn't know if I say yes or no to that one. Because you're a yes.
I'll give it to you.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm also a yes. You know what? I didn't count that. I forgot that I technically had to pay a membership and join Seminole.
Yeah. No, I gave you a yes, and I took a yes on that one too.
Okay. Scratch handicap, no.
Mm-hmm.
Play in a pro-am, no, for me.
I wanted your clarification on this. So it was not a pro-am for like a PGA Tour tournament, but there was. Do you know Brittany Lincecum, the LPGA pro?
I do not.
She's. Do you remember Brandon Day, my dad's buddy?
Yes.
Yeah. So Brandon's really good friends with Brittany. Brittany hosted a pro-am tournament and invited us to play. So I played in a pro-am tournament, but it was just a pro-am because the lady hosting the tournament invited all of her pro friends there. So every group had a pro, but it was just because they were all invited by Brittany.
Did the pros scores count for anything,
Yeah, they counted for our tournament.
then yeah,
Okay, we'll go with yes.
of course.
Cool.
And on a par 5 and 2, I'm yes.
Yeah, I have done that.
Okay. So Luke,
All right.
I think,
Final score, I got 16 me, 14 you.
yeah. All right. Well, hey, that's not bad.
No, I mean, we got about half the milestones down.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty soon here, I'd like to hopefully make a hole in one,
Yeah.
attend a major, and break 80. Would love to do that.
Yeah, let me.
See what
Hole in one would be really cool. Let me go with the 3 I'd want to do next. I really want to make an eagle. Like I want an eagle.
did it.
Be bad.
So I did it at my tournament at Jovita the same day that I almost hit that hole in one. We were on 15, right? And we're playing a scramble.
Yeah.
I hit the drive. I hit the approach shot on the green, and I made the putt.
So you made an eagle.
I'm counting that as mine. I was with a scramble.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I mean, you took all 3 shots. That's your eagle.
Thank you.
I would love break 80, make an eagle, and I would love to do a no double bogey round because I've never done that. I would love to break 80, make an eagle, no double bogeys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be next on my list that I'd like to get done.
Buddy, the way that you and I golf, not anymore, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
We're going to play enough golf to where all those things will happen. 100%.
Yeah. I hope so. Cool. Well, thank you guys for hopefully you've all stayed around with us for over an hour. We chatted for a while this time, but thank you all for watching. RJ, as always, pleasure chatting golf with you for a little bit. So,
buddy, I love it. Like Luke said, thanks everybody for sticking around. We appreciate it. We're going to figure out this comment section so that you guys can comment how many milestones you guys have, your takes on our takes and things you might want us to talk about and cover for future episodes. But we appreciate everything. And like we said, we hope you guys enjoy this. But, buddy,
Yep.
I'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, talk to you next time. Guys, if you do like the video, be sure to like, subscribe, share it with your friends. We're doing this for us, but also for you guys. We're hoping to grow this if we can. So thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, buddy.
See ya.